The one night that we wait for, when it's all put on the line. We all striving to reach the top and be the champion this time.
I'm gonna be a champion. Yeah, I got what it takes. Risk it all, make my own fate. Yeah, I'm gonna be a champion. All the glory and the fame, jet setting in my own plane. I'm gonna be a champion. Silhouettes in the spotlight, cash falling from the sky. Yeah, I'm gonna be a champion. All it takes is one night for me to turn around my whole life.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first edition of Change the F Up, exclusively on Elite Ringside Network. I'm, of course, your host with the most, Nate the Effing Great, joined here by the one, the only VicTori Bell. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing good. Now, before we get into the, of course, greatest Oscar stuff that we can shoulda, woulda, couldas, everything like that, my understanding was that you had a pretty busy weekend this past weekend of like a 3-day photo shoot, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yeah. Yes, that was crazy. I did 8 costumes in 3 days, shooting like over 40 hours. It was intense.
40 hours, that's roughly 8 hours.
Oh, yes.
That's a lot of time.
Photographer who, his name's Joe, we went hard this weekend. So he was a trooper, and I really thank him for hanging on while changing costumes, changing makeup. It's a lot to do, so it was awesome. He runs a booth at a lot of cons that I'm at, and he has like this company called PhotoCon where he can put people at conventions against a green screen and kind of make your costume really come to life. So it's pretty fun. He's really cool, and he's good at what he does, so I can't wait to share what we've been able to achieve this past weekend and, throw his name out there, and hopefully more people want to hire him for his work. He's really good.
Very nice, very nice. And that's going to be up on your Facebook fan page, right?
Yes, it will be. It'll be up on Facebook, and I'll probably throw stuff over Instagram and Twitter as well.
Well, there you go.
I kind of gave sneak peeks of this weekend of, like, my phone taking photos of a screen of my photo, so not to give anything away, but when they're fully completed and done, I'll throw them out there. It'll probably be a few weeks. As I said, I took a ton of photos, ton of costumes, so I'm excited and hopefully have something to show people come Milwaukee PopCon, which is February 11th.
Well, there you go.
Milwaukee MightyCon. Sorry.
Wow.
Yay.
Well, I was going to say a couple weeks. It sounds like that's going to come out long before your YouTube series City of Angels is coming out. I mean, geez Louise, we've been talking about that for months and months. It's like, where's the debut episode? It's like...
I know. That's why I probably shouldn't have even said anything about it. But, yeah, I said it, and now it's going to take forever. So it's kind of how these low-budget things kind of take a while sometimes. So we'll see if it comes out. If it does, you guys will be the first to know. I'll let you know. But other than that, I have nothing more to say about City of Angels till it happens.
I'm not saying this to be mean, but I think that the second season of Stranger Things is going to come out before I see that first episode of City of Angels.
Hey, I'm not saying anything negative about it, but that's what happens with low-budget films. It takes a while for actors to really get their time available and open, and it's just how it is. So I just go with the flow, and when it comes out, I'll be excited.
Well, of course, ladies and gentlemen, we are indeed doing our Oscar-themed episodes entitled Shoulda, Woulda, Coulda, where we pick things that probably should have gotten an Oscar, but unfortunately fell short. Last week, we talked about the Best Picture films that were nominated. This week, we actually got not one, but 2 categories for you. First one, of course, being music. We're picking one song, about 5 of them each, and we're telling you why the reasons why we think that they should have been won. And the other one will be Best Animated Feature. Again, 5. It's going to be awesome. So let's just kick it off. First one being music, one song from the film. Oh my gosh, I can honestly say that it took me about roughly, I want to say maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours to listen to every single song from 2006 all the way till present day. Although there was, of course, and I wanted to address this one year that I decided, you know what, I'm good. And that being 2012, where there was only one other song to choose from other than the Oscar-winning one. that was very disappointing, in all honesty. Especially when you saw like a lot of the movies that came out during 2012. The fact that only 2 songs made the nomination, just, it was like, huh, well, that happened.
Yeah, it's a little odd, but I think it kind of shows that, I mean, they have a certain caliber, so apparently, like, when we see, like, you know, one of her best film or best feature film type of thing, there was, like, 8 or 9 nominees one time, and you're like, geez, really? Like, oh, does everyone get a prize or something? But it shows that every once in a while, you know, a year comes out that doesn't have that great of music to the Academy. Put that in quotes, you know, who knows who really the Academy is and how they decide on things. But I think it's kind of, it's interesting, and it's kind of good that there's not always like, oh, 4 people are going to get nominated this year. 4 people will get nominated. No, you never know. And they don't have those regulations so that they can pick, you know, the best of the best. So I kind of like it, but I was with you. I was like, 2012, a little sad. Not good music. I don't remember those Oscars, but I think one of the favorite parts of watching the Oscars is when it's like, oh, here comes the music break, like where they show one of the best songs. It's going to perform. That Oscar show must have been really boring, only having 2.
Well, yeah, but it is what it is. You win some, you lose some. But let's get right into songs for Oscar nominated. Why don't you take it away for this one, and then we'll kind of course, do our regular thing where we just bounce back and forth. So, what is your number 5?
My number 5 would be Suddenly in Les Mis, which is 2013. This time for songs, I thought since we're doing 2 categories, I didn't write kind of who won over them or whatnot, but just for song-wise, I thought Suddenly is a great song. Everybody kind of knows that tune from Les Mis, and yes, it's a little sad. It was actually, I'm pretty sure Anne Hathaway performed it in the movie, and like we said before, last show when we talked about Les Mis a little bit, it was really interesting knowing that the actors performed it right there on camera, on set, instead of going to a studio, and hearing how beautifully she performed it. I loved that song, and it was so sad and so emotional. It gave me the feels, and that's why I thought Suddenly for 2013 was a great song.
Very nice, very nice. Well, I went to a little further back, and kind of how I'm doing is I'm going to just go year by year ascending order for this list. The second list will be descending order, but I went back to 2007, where the winning song was I Need to Wake Up from an Inconvenient Truth, that being from Dreamgirls' Listen, performed by Beyonce Knowles. Again, Beyonce, just a great singer, and she's a pretty good actress. This was one of those songs that when I listened to it, and there were like, gosh, I want to say 3 songs from Dreamgirls that got nominated. I'm surprised none of them won. But this was the one that really stood out the most, where, of course, it talks about, I'm trying to remember the story when I read it. Beyonce's character, I guess, I don't know if I was, manager, that's right, was basically saying, like, you know, I know you, I know everything about you, and she says, you don't know everything about me, and I know you do. And it's just one of those songs where, again, it's just one of those things where guys need to listen, because otherwise you're going to be in a world of hurt, or you're just going to not do so well. So this was honestly, again, another one of those great pretty good movies, and this was the main song that really stood out the most in that. Like I said, there were a couple others, but this was the one that kind of stood out the most.
Cool. And I mean, if we're talking about Beyonce, we have to congratulate her on coming out with having twins. She's pregnant with twins right now. Everybody's talking about it.
Yay!
So it's really cool, and a really pretty picture of her. She posted, like, you know, her pregnant, her baby bump, and with flowers behind her. It was a very fantasy kind of shoot, and I was thinking, like, oh, I did something like that. Except you're Beyonce. But okay, so my number 4 pick for best music was I See the Lights from Tangled in 2011. And this was, you know, the part of, did you have this as well?
No, it was actually a very close tie, and I'll bring up why, because I actually had a number that from that year that kind of won me over. But that was a close second, so continue.
Yeah. Okay, well, this is the part where, it's the lanterns are being lifted up, and that's how Rapunzel kind of knows it's her birthday, is when all the lanterns come out, and she gets to see the lights from her tower, and then they sing it again kind of when she's on the boat with her kind of, I don't want to call him boyfriend because he wasn't at the time, but her traveling companion. But it was a really cute song, good kind of lullaby-ish, another soft song, and just really well written, and of course a good time in the movie for everyone to see her, get emotional about her birthday and trying to find out where she belongs. So, yeah, that was my number 4.
Well, for my number 4 is another Disney-related one, like you mentioned, but this was one where I listened to both songs, and I'm thinking, gosh, I can't pick one or the other. So I think I'm just going to do a safe bet and pick 2 of them. So I got 2 for this one, but they're still considered under the same category from 2008. The winning one was Falling Slowly from Once, but the song that I picked was from Enchanted, So Close, as well as That's How You Know. Amy Adams, just great as a singer, amazing as an actress. So Close and That's How You Know, just basically kind of tie in hand where So Close talks about, reaching that final goal of, happy endings and still having that hope even though you're just so close. And That's How You Know really kind of spoke out to me because I listened to it, I'm thinking, she talks about, that's how you know that, he loves you because, hey, he's writing you songs, he's giving you flowers, doing poetry. It's like, I think a few guys could probably take a little advice from that because there's some people that just say, like, oh, you're beautiful, blah, blah, blah. But it also kind of had a little bit of a sentimental value to me because I remember a lot of times back at home, my father would always write these nice little notes for my mom before she went to work saying that, hey, you're basically, the light of my world, and saying how much that, he loved her. And it was always just, so it was one of the things that were really, really cool. And sometimes my mom would just be like, oh, he's so sweet. But then there'd be other times where it's like, yeah, right. I'm like, come on, Mom. At least he's trying. Give him something. Oh, man. But, yeah, Enchanted, just an amazing movie. And those 2 songs really, one of them should have won, but they didn't. But close second, I guess. So.
All right. So my number 3. My number 3 is another Disney. Disney kind of owns this category, I've noticed. Like, it's always, if there's multiple songs, it's always at least one Disney song is, like, thrown in there. And my 2010 Woulda, Shoulda, Coulda would have been Almost There from The Princess and the Frog. And I love that Tiana singing this song about kind of where she wants to be and how she thinks she's obviously almost there. She just needs a little more work, and it was all about, this girl working for her dream of just owning a restaurant in New Orleans, and that's all she did was work towards that dream. And so this song was just a cute way to her feeling like she's almost there, even though in reality it was pretty far away from the dream. But it was a great part of the movie, the start of it, kind of before you got to meet all the characters, and you got a kind of a little hint at who Tiana was as a person, and another really great movie from Disney and another awesome song.
Well, moving on to my number 3, of course, 2011. You mentioned Tangle's song that really did kind of stand out, but like I said, it came second to the song Coming Home from Country Strong. First of all, very surprised to hear that Gwyneth Paltrow can actually sing, even if it is, one of those mixed deals where it's like, she can't sing that well, so we're just going to kind of do like a mixed deal where it makes it sound good. But this is just one of those songs where, it gets a little cheesy just because it's like, talking about the yellow house and the white picket fences, and even they said a pink flamingo in the yard, and I'm like,